Hello, everyone. Today I will share the true and incredible story of Anne Frank. She was a young Jewish girl who, for 2 long years, hid from the Nazis with her family and others during World War II. While she was in hiding, Anne wrote about her life, her fears, her dreams, and her growing up in a diary. This story is told in simple English to help everyone understand. Please listen at a comfortable pace. Now, let's begin her story.
My name is Anne Frank. I was born in Germany, but my family moved to Amsterdam in the Netherlands when I was just 4 years old. The reason? A man named Adolf Hitler and his Nazi party came to power in Germany. They hated Jewish people like my family and made life very difficult and dangerous for us. In Amsterdam, life was good for a while. I had a normal life. I loved reading, watching movies, and I was a bit talkative in school. I had a group of friends. But then, in 1940, the German army invaded the Netherlands. Slowly, our freedom was taken away. New rules appeared, one after another. For Jews, it was forbidden to ride in cars or even on a bicycle, visit the homes of non-Jewish friends, go to parks, cinemas, or non-Jewish shops, be on the streets after 8 o'clock at night. We had to wear a yellow star on our clothes with the word Jew on it. It felt like a label, marking us as a different. My father, Otto, lost his business. I had to leave my school and go to a special Jewish school. The world was closing in on us. Then, in July 1942, my older sister Margot received a call-up notice. The Nazis wanted to send her to a forced labor camp. We knew it was a trick. People who went to those camps never came back. Our time was up. We had to disappear. For over a year, my father had been preparing a hiding place. It was in the back of his office building at 263 Prinsengracht Street. He called it the secret annex. We left our apartment in a hurry, wearing layers and layers of clothes, because we couldn't be seen carrying suitcases. It was a terrifying walk in the rain. We arrived at the big old office building and went inside. Behind a bookcase that swung open like a door was our new home. It was a set of small rooms on 2 floors, some small bedrooms, a living room, and an attic. The windows were covered with dark curtains, so no one could see inside. We had to be absolutely quiet during the day, when the workers were in the offices below. No flushing the toilet, no walking around, no talking loudly. We were like mice hiding in the walls. A week later, another family joined us. The Van Pels, Mr. and Mrs. Van Pels, and their 16-year-old son, Peter. Later, a dentist named Fritz Pfeffer came too. Now, 8 of us were living in this tiny secret world. Life in the annex was strange and difficult. The days were long and often boring. I spent my time studying from books. I read everything I could find. But the worst part wasn't the boredom. It was the fear. Every sound from the street, a car stopping, a doorbell ringing, footsteps on the stairs, made our hearts stop. Were they coming for us? We lived in constant fear of being discovered. We also had our arguments. Living so close together, with so much fear, made everyone irritable. I didn't always get along with the adults, especially Mrs. Van Pels. I found her annoying, and I often had fights with my mother. I felt she didn't understand me. My sister Margot was quiet and perfect, and I always felt compared to her. But then, I had a wonderful friend. Her name was Kitty. Kitty wasn't a real person. She was my diary. I had received a small red and white checkered diary for my 13th birthday, just before we went into hiding. In the annex, I started writing in it every day. I wrote all my thoughts, my fears, my dreams, and my complaints. I pretended I was writing letters to a friend named Kitty. My diary became my confidant, the one place I could be completely myself. There's in people simply an urge to destroy, an urge to kill, to murder and rage. I wrote one day, feeling very sad about the world. But on other days I wrote, I don't think of all the misery, but of the beauty that still remains. I also started to notice Peter Van Pels. At first, I thought he was shy and awkward. But as time went on, we started talking in his room or in the attic. We talked about everything, our past, our hopes, our fears. We shared our first kiss. It was a sweet small light in the darkness. For 2 years, we lived like this. We heard news of the war on a small secret radio. We prayed for the Allies to win and for our freedom. We celebrated birthdays with small homemade gifts. I grew from a girl of 13 to a young woman of 15. I had big dreams. I wanted to be a journalist and a writer. I even rewrote parts of my diary, hoping to publish a book about the secret annex after the war. I called it The Secret Annex. I still believed in a better future. I know what I want, I wrote. I have a goal. I have opinions. A religion and love. I feel like a songbird whose wings have been ripped off and who keeps hurling itself against the bars of its dark cage. On August 1st, 1944, I wrote my last diary entry. I was trying to understand myself, why I acted one way on the outside, but felt so differently on the inside. I ended by calling myself a bundle of contradictions. 3 days later, on the morning of August 4th, 1944, the terrible thing happened. The German police, led by a Dutch collaborator, raided the secret annex. They had been told we were there. They found us. We were arrested. I sadly dropped my diary, scattering all my papers on the floor. We were sent to a prison, then to a transit camp called Westerbork, and finally, packed into a crowded cattle train, we were deported to the Auschwitz concentration camp in Poland. The conditions were horrible: little food, hard labor, and constant cruelty. Later, Margot and I were sent to another camp, Bergen-Belsen, in Germany. It was winter. We were cold, starving, and sick with a disease called typhus. Sometime in February or March 1945, first Margot and then I died from the sickness. I was only 15 years old. I was buried in a mass grave. The war ended just a few weeks later. Of the 8 people from the secret annex, only my father, Otto Frank, survived. When he returned to Amsterdam, one of the helpers who had hidden us, Miep Gies, found my diary and gave it to him. She had saved it from the floor on the day we were arrested. My father was heartbroken to learn that his wife and daughters had not survived. But when he read my diary, he was amazed. He saw a side of me he had never fully known. He saw my deep thoughts, my growth, and my unwavering hope. He decided to publish it, just as I had wanted. In 1947, The Diary of a Young Girl was published. It has since been translated into over 70 languages and read by millions of people around the world. My story did not have a happy ending for me. But my voice, the voice of a young girl hiding in an attic, did not die. It became a symbol of hope, a warning against hatred. and a powerful reminder of the beautiful, fragile spirit that can live on, even in the darkest of times. My final message, which I still believe with all my heart, is this. In spite of everything, I still believe that people are really good at heart.
I hope you found Anne Frank's story as moving and powerful as I do. Her words teach us so much about courage, hope, and finding light in the darkest of times. I would love to hear from you. Please comment your thoughts about this video. How did it help you in learning English? Please write down any new words you learned. Your feedback helps me create better content for you. So, please stay tuned for more stories and English lessons. Thank you for watching.